tonight's tale is a Valentine's romance of sorts. One might say this is what happens when you go looking for love in the wrong places. Subscribe.
Valentine's Day turns the mall into a lie you can hear. It's in the music first. Those glossy, overproduced love songs piped through ceiling speakers that were never meant to carry emotion, only noise. Every chorus sounds like a commercial, the beats timed to keep people moving. It loops so often you start to recognize the exact second the singer inhales before the hook. Then it's the color. Pink. Red. Artificial roses taped to railings. Glitter hearts dangling from fishing line. A giant inflatable teddy bear down by the food court that keeps slowly deflating and getting re-inflated by a hidden fan, like it can't decide whether it wants to exist. And the couples, hands threaded together, shoulders touching, people leaning in close like the mall might take it away from them if they don't hold on tight enough. It's busy, packed in that frantic, last-minute way where nobody is actually enjoying themselves. Men rush past with wide eyes and shopping bags that look too light to contain forgiveness. Teenagers weave through crowds filming each other. Parents drag kids toward the bathrooms while trying to pretend they're not late for dinner reservations. Everyone is in a hurry to perform love on schedule. I'm not. I'm behind the counter at Lace and Luna. Black walls, pink accent lights, perfume samples that never quite mask the smell of plastic packaging. The mannequins in the window stare into the corridor with blank, perfect faces and bodies that don't sweat, don't slump, don't get tired. A line curls past our doorway. It's been curling all day. I fold silk and lace and pretend I'm not watching the entrance every time the bell chimes. I pretend I'm not checking my phone between customers, even though there's nothing new on it. No messages, no missed calls, no Happy Valentine's Day from anyone who isn't trying to sell me something. My eyeliner is smudged, not in a cute way, in a tired way, in a I rubbed my eyes without thinking and now I'm stuck looking like I've been crying way, which is accurate. I wear the store's uniform top, black lace under a cardigan I keep forgetting to take off, because the air in here is always too cold. I have my hair tied back because the last thing I need is someone asking if I'm allowed to wear my hair down like that. On my feet, sneakers. Not the kind the brand manager would approve of. Not the kind I'm supposed to wear when I'm selling fantasy and intimacy to strangers. But I've been here since morning. I'm past caring. I've been covering other people's shifts because they called out sick. They weren't sick. They just didn't want to work Valentine's Day. I know it. My manager knows it. Everyone knows it. We all pretend we don't. Because in retail, you don't get to be angry at the people who leave. You only get to be reliable enough that you're punished for it. The bell chimes again. A guy in a puffy jacket steps into the store like he's entering a crime scene. He looks at the mannequins, looks at me, looks away too fast. He approaches the counter with the expression of someone walking toward a cliff. "Hey," he says, dropping his voice like we're in a library. I need help." "Sure," I say automatically. My mouth moves like it's been trained, which it has. "What are we looking for?" "It's for my girlfriend," he says, and then, after a short, like it matters, hopefully she's still my girlfriend. He laughs nervously. I do not. "Okay," I say, because okay is neutral. Okay is safe. "Do you know her size?" "No." "Do you know what she likes?" He stares at the wall display as if it might answer for him. She's a woman. I feel something in my chest tighten,
Not pain, exactly. More like irritation wearing a mask. Right, I say. And what kind of woman is she? He blinks. What? Does she like lace? Satin? Something comfortable? Something bold? I don't know. I just don't want to mess this up. I could tell him that gifts don't fix things. I could tell him if he's rushing to buy lingerie like it's an apology, he's already too late. But that's not my job. My job is to smile and sell him something in the right color and make sure he doesn't touch anything with his hands. So I walk him over to a display and start doing what I always do, translating panic into product. Behind us, the mall music hits another chorus. Love is all you need. A couple passes our window. The girl laughs at something her boyfriend says. The sound is sharp and bright, like glass catching sunlight. I look away before the envy turns into something uglier.
By mid-afternoon, my legs feel like they belong to someone else. A slow, numb ache has crawled up from my feet to my knees. I keep shifting my weight behind the counter, trying to trick my body into thinking I'm not standing still. My phone stays silent. A coworker, Maya, leans against the back shelf, scrolling on her screen like she's not even here. She's technically on shift, but she's the kind of person who can vanish into a room full of people and still get paid. I should hate her for it. I don't have the energy. You're quiet, she says without looking up. I'm working, I say. Maya, hums like that answers something. It's Valentine's. Everyone's weird today. Everyone's weird every day, I want to say. Instead, I watch a man wander in, stare at a wall of bras like he's looking at an alien language, and then turn to me with pleading eyes. Excuse me, he says. Can you tell me what women want? The question lands like a weight. I give him the same answer I've given 100 times today. I guide him towards something safe, something that looks romantic without requiring him to know anything real about her. He thanks me like I saved his life. He doesn't ask my name. No one does. A group of teenagers giggle by the window. Someone drops a bag in the corridor outside and swears under their breath. The mall is loud in a way that makes you feel alone anyway. So much sound, so little meaning. I think about the way Luke broke up with me. Not with a fight, not with shouting, not with drama, just quiet. Like he'd already decided. Like I'd been turned into an inconvenience while I wasn't paying attention. It's not you, he'd said. And then his eyes had slid away, and I'd realized he meant it. It wasn't me. It could have been anyone. The bell chimes again. This time, the customer comes in already angry. She's dressed like she has somewhere better to be and is furious that she has to be here at all. Her phone is pressed to her ear, but she ends the call the second she sees me. I'm here for my pickup, she says. I pre-ordered. It was supposed to be ready. Okay, I say, and my hands move to the terminal. What's the name? She spells it fast, like I'm the one who's delaying her. I type it in. The system shows the order. Delivered. Received. Ready for pickup. I turn and check the pickup shelf behind the counter anyway, because the system lies sometimes, and I'm used to being the one who has to correct it. It's not there. I check again. Still not there. A familiar heat rises in my chest. Not panic. Not yet. Just that tight retail anger that always has nowhere to go. I'm not seeing it right here, I say carefully. Let me check in the back. She sighs dramatically. Of course. I step behind the curtain into the stock area. It's narrower back here, dimmer. The air smells like cardboard and tape and dust and the faint chemical sweetness of whatever cleaning solution the mall uses on its floors. My manager, Trish, is on her phone in the back office. She covers the microphone and glares at me like I interrupted something important. "What?" she mouths. "We don't have the pre-order," I whisper. "The system says it's here." Trish's jaw tightens. She glances at the front, hears the steady stream of voices, and then gestures with her chin toward the back. "Go check downstairs." My stomach drops. "Downstairs?" I repeat. Trish's eyes narrow. "Yes, Elena, downstairs, in the overflow." I thought overflow was locked. "It is," she says, like that's not her problem. "I'll buzz you in. Just go. We can't have a customer leave angry today." I want to say no. I want to say I've been here all day, that I'm covering for 3 people who lied, that my legs hurt, that my head hurts, that I'm not a machine. But the thing about being reliable is, people stop asking if you can. They just assume you will. So I nod. I take the keyring from the hook. I grab the scanner. I push through the back door marked Employees Only and step into the service corridor. The moment the door shuts behind me, the mall sound drops off like someone turned the world down. Out here, the lights are a different kind of fluorescent, older, harsher. The walls are painted that tired, off-white you only see in places customers aren't meant to look at too long. The floor is concrete with scuff marks and streaks from carts. The air feels colder. I walk past a row of unmarked doors, past a stack of flattened boxes, past a security gate half lowered like a warning. It's quiet enough that I can hear my own breathing. And then, without meaning to, I think, Valentine's Day just proves how many people don't want to be alone, even if they don't actually want each other. I hate empty places, not because they're quiet, because they remind me how easy it is to disappear. At the end of the corridor is the service elevator. It's older than the mall. A heavy metal door with scratches around the buttons and a tiny sign that says, "Authorized personnel only," like it's ever stopped anyone who was told to do something. I press the button. It dings. The doors grind open. Inside, the elevator smells like metal and old oil. I step in, thumb hovering over the lower level. For a second, I just stand there. There's no reason to feel nervous. It's a basement. It's storage. It's boxes and mannequins and seasonal junk. But something in me doesn't want to go down. I tell myself I'm being dramatic. I press the button. The doors close, and the elevator starts descending. The elevator doesn't jerk or lurch. It doesn't do anything dramatic enough to justify the feeling in my stomach. It just goes down. The hum of the motor deepens as the numbers tick lower than they should. Not by a lot at first. 1 level, 2. The kind of descent you could explain away if you wanted to. I try to want to. My reflection stares back at me in the stainless steel doors. Tired eyes, smudged eyeliner, hair tied back too tight, cardigan half hanging off one shoulder like I dressed myself in a rush and never got the chance to become a person again. There's a faint vibration under my shoes that I can feel through the soles. I stare at the buttons, waiting for the little light to stop moving. It keeps moving. Down. My tongue goes dry. It's a basement, I tell myself. It's overflow, storage, seasonal junk, boxes that smell like dust and perfume samples. The elevator should stop. It doesn't. The ceiling light flickers once, just a blink,
and the air feels colder on my skin. I swallow hard, as if I can push the nervousness back down where it came from. Finally, the elevator slows. The vibration softens. The hum shifts pitch. The doors grind open, and for 1 second, my brain tries to make sense of what it's seeing. Because it isn't a basement. It isn't concrete or pipes or storage cages. It isn't the mall's underbelly with its tired off-white walls and scuffed floors. It's yellow.
Yellow wallpaper, faded in a way that looks like it's been old for decades. The pattern isn't flowers exactly, more like a repeating texture that wants to be pleasant but never quite succeeds. It makes my eyes slip when I try to focus on it. The smell hits me like a hand over my mouth. Mildew, old fabric, something sour trapped under cheap glue. Above it all, an electrical hum. Not loud, not dramatic. Constant, like the building is breathing through its teeth. I stand in the elevator doorway, frozen, thumb still hovering over the button, like I can undo this by pressing it again. The inside of the elevator feels warmer than the air outside it. I realize I'm holding my breath. I force myself to exhale. The sound is too loud in the stillness. The corridor stretches away in both directions. Identical yellow walls, identical damp carpet, identical cheap ceiling tiles with fluorescent fixtures buzzing faintly overhead. The light has that sickly, stale tone that makes skin look wrong, makes everything look like it's been left out too long. My first thought is stupid. This is the back rooms of the mall. Because it has to be. Because my manager said overflow, and my body still wants to obey the rules of retail, the rules of inventory, the rules of nothing weird is happening, you're just tired. Maybe I took the wrong service elevator. Maybe this is the older wing, the part they never renovated, the part you don't see unless you work here for years. Maybe I step out. The carpet gives a soft, disgusting sigh under my sneaker. The elevator doors stay open behind me. I turn to look at them. They're still there. Still open. Still waiting. Relief hits me so fast it's almost dizzying. Okay, fine. It's weird, but I can go back. I step backward into the elevator. My heel catches the threshold. The doors begin to close. I throw my hand forward to stop them. They don't stop. For a moment, my fingers meet nothing but air and cold metal. Then the doors slide shut completely, smooth and final, like they never had any intention of letting me decide. I stare at the seam where the doors meet. I press the call button. Nothing. No ding. No light. No mechanical response. My palm goes sweaty. I press it again, harder. Still nothing. The hum overhead continues, indifferent. I step away from the elevator doors and look down the corridor. There has to be another door. Another service stairwell, something marked exit. A maintenance hatch, a fire door. This is a mall. There are always fire doors. I start walking. The hallway turns left, then right, then opens into a wider section that looks exactly like the narrower section, only with more ceiling lights, spaced the same distance apart like someone measured them with a ruler. The walls don't change. The carpet doesn't change. The hum doesn't change. I keep telling myself I'll reach a junction that makes sense. A sign, a door with a handle, a metal keypad, a staff-only placard with an arrow. Instead, Every time I turn a corner, I'm looking at the same corridor again. Not the same type of corridor, the same corridor. Same discoloration on the wallpaper near the baseboard. Same faint stain on the carpet that looks like someone spilled coffee years ago and it never dried right. I stop. My heart thumps once, heavy. I turn back the way I came. I walk fast, then faster, then break into a jog. I should see the elevator. I don't. I see more yellow, more damp, more hum. Panic doesn't arrive all at once. It seeps in. It slips under the skin like the smell of mildew and settles in my chest. I try to call out. Hello? My voice gets swallowed immediately by the corridor, like the sound is being absorbed by the carpet before it can travel. I listen for an echo. There isn't one. That should be impossible. This place is a box made of hard surfaces and cheap materials. Sound should bounce. But it doesn't. It dies close to my feet. My throat tightens. I pull my phone out with shaking hands. No signal. The screen glow looks wrong in the stale light. I open the camera anyway and point it down the corridor, like recording it might make it real enough to be solvable. All I see is yellow. I pocket the phone. My breathing sounds too loud. The hum above me feels closer now, like it's worming its way into my teeth. I start walking again, because stopping feels worse. The farther I go, the more the place loses the faint sense of mall. There are no vents, no pipes, no exposed concrete, no utility signage. Just endless, finished hallways that aren't finished in any meaningful way. Cheap wallpaper, cheap carpet, cheap light. Like a set built by someone who's only heard the idea of an interior space described secondhand. I keep expecting to see an abandoned cart, a pallet, a box cutter left on a shelf. Nothing. Not even trash. It's clean in the way that makes your skin crawl, because it doesn't feel like cleanliness. It feels like absence.
I think about the sales floor above me, the noise, the voices, the customers asking me what women want. Here, nobody wants anything. Here, nobody wants me. The thought lands too hard. I shake my head like I can physically dislodge it. The lights flicker once, not off, just a subtle dip, like the building blinked. The hum shifts cadence for a second, a tiny stutter, then returns to its steady buzz. And my body reacts like it heard a predator behind it. I turn too fast, scanning the corridor behind me. Empty. Nothing moves. But my nerves don't care. My nerves are already convinced. I start moving faster. At first it's just a brisk walk, determined, purposeful, like I'm late returning from break. Then it becomes a jog, because the hallways keep branching and I keep choosing wrong. Then it becomes running, because the longer I stay in one place, the more the silence starts to feel intentional. The carpet squelches under my shoes. The dampness leaves cold through the soles. The smell clings to my clothes, to my hair. I run past openings that look like rooms, but every room is another hallway, another false option. My mind starts doing what it always does when it can't solve something. It tries to make it my fault. You're tired. You're dehydrated.
You're stressed. You're having a panic attack. You're hallucinating. I run until my lungs burn. I slow down, bend forward, hands on my knees, trying to catch my breath. The hum doesn't care. The lights don't care. I straighten up and keep walking, because walking is better than standing still. Because standing still makes me feel like I'm waiting for something to find me. I keep thinking I see something out of the corner of my eye, movement in the wallpaper pattern, like the texture is crawling. Every time I snap my head toward it, it's nothing. Just yellow, just the same repeating shape. Just my own fear trying to invent meaning. I don't know how long I've been down here. Time doesn't feel like time. There's no sun, no windows, no change in sound or smell. My watch, if I still had one, would probably be useless anyway. All I have is the steady buzz overhead and the damp carpet underfoot, and the growing certainty that I could run forever and never find a door. My throat is dry now. My stomach is empty. My legs ache in that deep way that doesn't go away with rest. And still, I keep moving. Because I'm still convinced that if I just find the right corner, if I just pick the right hallway, there will be an exit, a stairwell, a door marked authorized personnel only with a keypad and a handle, a way back to pink decorations and loud music and customers who don't know my name. Anything but this. So I run. Not because I know where I'm going, because I can't stand the thought of stopping. At first, I keep doing what you do when you're lost in a building. I look for signs. I look for doors. I look for anything that says stairs or exit or fire door in red letters. I call out again. Hello? My voice comes out smaller than I meant it to. It doesn't echo the way it should. It just falls flat, like the carpet is swallowing it. I try again, louder. Hello? Is anyone down here? Nothing answers. No footsteps, no distant voices, no intercom. Just that hum. It's not loud, but it's everywhere. It's the kind of sound you don't notice until you can't stop noticing it. I start walking faster. Then I stop and turn around because I'm trying to be smart about it. I'm trying to retrace my steps the way you're supposed to. You go back to where you last knew where you were. Except I don't. Every corner looks like every other corner. Every hallway has the same stale yellow wallpaper and the same damp carpet that makes my shoes whisper when I move. I pull my phone out again. No signal, of course. It's a basement. It's a concrete box. Service corridors, whatever. I hit the button anyway, like maybe the universe will reward persistence. Nothing. I try calling Maya. Nothing. I try Trish. Nothing. I try my mom. Nothing. My hands shake, and that makes me angry, so I dial 911. The call doesn't even start. No ringing, no error message, just dead. I stare at the screen like it's betrayed me personally. Are you kidding me? I say out loud, and my voice sounds wrong in the air, too thin against the hum. I shove the phone back in my pocket and start moving again, because standing still makes my skin itch. I walk until I hit a corner that feels familiar. I can't explain why. It's not like there's a big sign. It's just a stain on the carpet. A dark blotch near the wall. I stare at it. Then I look up at the wallpaper. There's a tiny tear in it, low to the ground, like someone dragged something sharp along it years ago. I remember seeing it. My stomach turns. I look behind me. Same corridor, Same ceiling tiles, same buzzing lights. No, I whisper. I walk forward anyway, because sometimes your brain makes false connections when you're stressed. Sometimes you think you've been somewhere before just because everything is generic. I take the next right, then another, and there it is again. The stain, the tear in the wallpaper, the exact same little rip in the exact same spot. My mouth goes dry so fast it feels like my tongue shrinks. Okay, I say, like talking will keep me sane. Okay, this is fine. This is just, it's a loop. It's like the service corridors connect. It's whatever. I stop because I don't believe myself. I swing around and march back the way I came, fast, almost stomping, like anger can force the world to behave. I should find the elevator doors. I should find the employees only door. I should find anything that looks like the mall. I don't. The corridors keep going. They keep turning. They keep offering me openings that lead to more openings. My heart starts doing that stupid thing where it races, even though I'm not running. I start calling out again, louder, because at this point, embarrassment is dead and I don't care. Help! Hello? Is anyone here? I slap my palm against a wall. The wallpaper feels clammy, not wet, just cold and wrong, like it's been in a basement forever. Hey! I work here! I'm lost! Somebody! Nothing.
My throat tightens. I swallow and it doesn't help. I pull my phone out again because I can't help myself. I need a number. I need a time. I need something normal. The clock reads 4:44. I stare at it, waiting for it to change. It doesn't. I lock the screen, unlock it again. 4:44. My stomach drops. That's not, I whisper. I open a different app, anything that updates, weather, messages, anything. No connection. I open the clock app. The seconds tick. Then they skip. Then they tick again. I watch it like I'm watching a bug trapped in a jar. My hands start shaking harder. My brain tries to solve it in the stupidest way possible. Maybe the phone's glitched. Maybe the battery's dying. Maybe the screen is lagging. Maybe I'm losing my mind. That thought slides in quiet and slick. And once it's there, it doesn't leave. I start moving again, faster now. Not running exactly, more like I'm trying to outpace the panic. The hum feels sharper. It's like it's inside my teeth. The lights flicker, and every time they do, I flinch, because part of me expects the hallway to be different when they come back on. Sometimes it is. Not obviously, just enough that I can't trust my memory. My mouth is so dry, it hurts. I don't know how long I've been walking. I don't know if it's been 30 minutes or 3 hours. The air never changes. The light never changes. The music from the mall is gone, and the silence, no, not silence, the hum, fills everything in. I try yelling again, and my voice comes out hoarse. I have no idea how much time has gone by. The hunger started as irritation and turned into a sick, hollow ache. My stomach cramps like it's offended by the idea of being ignored. My legs are starting to wobble. I check my phone again. Battery, 3%. Time, 4:44. That's when I start to feel truly afraid. Not scared, not stressed, not annoyed. Afraid. Because if my phone dies, I lose the only thing that still looks like my life. I stop walking and press both hands to my face, hard enough to hurt. Okay, I whisper into my palms. Okay, Okay, think. Elena, think. My own name sounds strange in my head, like I'm saying it to make sure I still exist. I lower my hands. The corridor in front of me looks wrong. Not different. Wrong. Like the walls are too close together by an inch. Like the ceiling tiles don't line up the way they should. Like the pattern in the wallpaper is slightly off, repeating too quickly. My skin prickles. I step forward cautiously, like the air might bite. My shoe catches on the carpet. I stumble. And for a half second, the floor gives way under me like it isn't solid. I don't fall down. I fall through.
The sensation is sickening, like missing a step in the dark, multiplied. My stomach lurches. My vision whites out at the edges. The hum spikes so sharply it feels like someone stabbed a tuning fork into my skull. I grab for the wall, and my hands hit cold concrete. Hard. Real. Abrasive. I gasp like I've been held underwater. I push myself up and look around. For a moment, all I can do is stare. The yellow wallpaper is gone. The damp carpet is gone. Pipes run along the ceiling in thick bundles, sweating condensation. Some of them tick faintly, like they're cooling down. Others hiss in short, impatient bursts. The floor is hard under my shoes, solid enough that I can feel every crack and seam through the soles. For a few seconds, I just stand there, bent slightly at the waist, trying to get my breath back. My hands sting where they hit the concrete. My knees ache like I dropped onto them from a height I can't remember taking. My throat feels like paper. My legs have that deep, trembling burn you get after you've pushed too long. My stomach is hollow in a way that makes me nauseous instead of hungry. My mouth tastes like stale perfume and panic. I pull my phone out with shaky fingers. The screen lights up, too bright in the dimness. Battery, 1%. That number hits me harder than it should, because 1% means time. Not real time, but time in the only form I'm getting now. How long until the last normal thing I own goes dark? I do the math automatically, even though my brain feels frayed at the edges. If it was full when I went downstairs, and it's at 1 now, I don't finish the thought. I can't. The moment I commit to a number, it becomes real. Instead, I slide the phone back into my pocket like it's fragile, like it can feel me watching. I start moving, slowly this time, carefully. The way you move when you're not sure if the building is stable or if you're about to walk into a dead end and waste the last of your strength. The corridor stretches forward, industrial and narrow, the ceiling low enough to make my shoulders want to hunch. The lights here aren't the soft, buzzing panels from before. They're harsher, scattered, some flickering, some steady. A few are dead entirely, leaving sections of hallway darker than the rest. My skin crawls in those patches. I keep my eyes forward. I pass an open area that feels like the lower level of a parking structure, wide, flat, half filled with mist that sits near the ground like breath. My footsteps sound too loud in it. The noise bounces and comes back to me from angles that don't make sense. I keep going. The hunger comes in waves now. Sharp, then dull. My stomach twists like it's trying to eat itself. I press a hand to my abdomen, willing it to stop, and it doesn't. My hands are cold. I'm sweating under my cardigan, but my fingers feel like they belong to someone who's been standing outside in winter. I hate how my thoughts keep circling the same useless phrases. This can't be real. This has to be a part of the mall. I'm going insane. I'm going insane. I'm going insane. I turn a corner and stop so abruptly my shoulder jerks. There's a wooden crate in the middle of the hall. It looks ordinary. So ordinary it makes my eyes sting. Wood, nails, a lid that's been pried open and closed before. Stenciled on the side in plain black letters, Supplies. I stare at it for a long moment, waiting for the catch. Because everything has had a catch. The catch is usually that hope arrives wearing a familiar shape. I approach anyway, slow, like the crate might move if I move too fast. I crouch and lift the lid. Packing peanuts shift under my fingers. The sound is soft and stupid in the heavy air. Underneath, metal bottles, several of them, all identical, like they came off an assembly line that only knows how to make one thing. Each bottle has a label wrapped around it. Almond water. I blink at the words. My mouth waters instantly, so fast it hurts. I pick one up. It's heavier than I expect, cold against my palm. I shake it gently. Liquid sloshes. I turn it in my hands, looking for anything that says poison or expired or not for human consumption. There's nothing. My throat tightens with the kind of desperation that makes you reckless. I twist the cap. It resists for a second, then gives. A soft pop of broken seal. The smell that rises isn't strong, just faintly sweet, faintly clean, like almonds and something else, something almost medicinal. I bring it to my lips and hesitate, because my brain is still trying to be logical. Don't drink random basement liquids. Don't put unknown substances in your body. You have no idea where you are. My body doesn't care. I drink. The liquid is cool and smooth, not thick, not chalky. It tastes like almond milk without the bitterness, like someone filtered it through something clean. It slides down my throat, and the ache there eases immediately, like I've been rubbing sandpaper against my windpipe, and someone finally poured water over it. I take another swallow, and another. The nausea in my stomach loosens its grip. The tight, dizzy pressure behind my eyes fades a notch. My hands stop shaking so hard. My breathing slows from that ragged edge where every inhale feels like it might turn into a sob. I lower the bottle and stare at it like it just performed a magic trick. For the first time since Valentine's Day, since the mall noise, the pink decorations, the stupid love songs, the way my phone stayed silent, I feel functional. Not safe, not okay, but functional. Like I can stand up straight, like I can think in complete sentences, like I might be able to keep moving without falling apart. My fingers tighten around the bottle. I look back into the crate and grab another one, shoving it into my cardigan pocket so fast it almost slips. Then I stand there in the industrial corridor, listening to the pipes hiss and tick above me, the harsh lights flickering in the distance. And I realize something that makes my stomach twist again. If there are supplies down here, then someone expected people to need them.
I don't know how long I stand there after drinking. Long enough to feel the warmth settle into my chest. Long enough for my thoughts to stop stuttering. Long enough to remember that I'm alone. That's the part that hits next. Not the pipes, not the flickering lights, not the endless concrete. The fact that there hasn't been a single voice, no doors opening, no distant footsteps, no shouting from a security guard who's about to tell me I'm not supposed to be down here. Nothing living. I take another careful sip. I cap the bottle and hold it in both hands like it's an anchor. Then I start walking again. The corridor narrows, then widens. Pipes branch overhead like veins, disappearing into shadows. There are openings that look like service rooms, dark rectangles cut into concrete, most of them empty, most of them too dark to trust. I keep my eyes forward. My sneakers squeak faintly on the floor. The sound makes my skin prickle. I'm rounding a corner when I hear it. Not the hum, not the hiss of steam. A scuff. A foot dragging, just barely. I stop so fast my shoulders tense.
I listen. Nothing. I tell myself it was a pipe cooling, metal shifting. Then it happens again. A soft, uneven step. Closer this time. My throat tightens around nothing. I take a step backward without thinking, the bottle cold in my hand. Hello? I call out, and my voice comes out cautious, like I'm speaking to a stray dog. No answer. But the sound of movement continues, slow, careful, deliberate. The kind of steps someone makes when they don't want to startle you. A shape appears at the far end of the corridor, partially hidden by the bend. Human-shaped. My whole body reacts before my brain finishes the thought. Relief rushes up so violently it almost hurts. My eyes sting. Oh my God, I whisper. The figure steps into the light. A man, about average height, wearing something dark. Clothes that might have been normal once but hang strangely now, like they don't fit right. His posture is slightly hunched, shoulders rounded forward. He moves like awareness is painful. He stops when he sees me. For a second, we just stare at each other across the concrete corridor. Then he lifts his hands slightly, palms out. A universal gesture. I'm not a threat. I take a step forward without meaning to. Hey, I say, and my voice cracks on the word. Hey, are you okay? He doesn't answer immediately. His head tilts a fraction, like he's listening to something I can't hear. Then, slowly, he nods. The movement is small and stiff, like his neck is sore. I take another step forward. He takes one too. The hum feels louder in the silence between us. Thank you, I blurt, because my brain is scrambling for something normal to say. Sorry, I thought I was alone. I thought I was going crazy. His mouth moves. He's speaking, but the words don't land right. It isn't that he's speaking another language, it's that the sound doesn't match his face. It comes out too wet, too thick, like his throat is full of something. I swallow hard. What? I say, leaning forward a little. Sorry, I can't. He steps closer. The light catches his face, and something about it makes my stomach fold. It's not obvious at first. It's subtle, like a bad wax figure, like a mask that's almost convincing. The skin looks stretched, tight across the cheekbones, too smooth in some places, too textured in others. The color is wrong, faintly gray under the harsh light, like he's been cold for a long time. But the eyes are what makes me stop. They don't track the way eyes should. They look at me, but they don't focus on anything. I freeze. He keeps coming. Wait, I say, my voice suddenly sharp. Wait, stop! He stops. For a second, the hallway feels like it's holding its breath. I lift my hand halfway, unsure if I'm reaching for him or warning him away. Are you hurt? I ask, quieter now. Do you need? He steps forward again. I don't know why I do it. Maybe because I'm exhausted. Maybe because I'm still a person who helps customers. Maybe because my brain is clinging to the idea that a human shape means safety. maybe because I can't stand being alone. I reach out and touch his arm. My fingers meet fabric, then skin. Cold. Not cold hands cold. Not I've been in a basement cold. Cold like a freezer shelf. Cold like something that has never been warm. I snatch my hand back so fast it's almost a slap. "What the?" I whisper. His head tilts again. And then he smiles. It's a wrong smile. A practiced one. Too slow. His hand rises toward his own face, fingers pressing into his cheek as if he's checking that it's still there. The skin dents under the pressure like soft clay. My stomach drops through the floor. "Don't," I say, backing up. "Don't. Please don't." He doesn't respond to the words. He responds to the movement. He steps forward in the exact rhythm of my retreat, keeping the distance the same, like he's trained for it. I hit the wall behind me with my shoulder and flinch at the impact. The concrete is real, unforgiving. There's nowhere to go sideways. My breath comes too fast. "Okay," I say, louder, trying to shove authority into my voice the way I do with customers when they get too close. "Okay, stop. Back up." His smile widens. And then, very carefully, very gently, he grips the edge of his own face, like it's loose, like it's a hood. My brain refuses the image for a second. It tries to rewrite it. It tries to call it a joke, a trick, a hallucination. Then he pulls. The skin peels away from his cheek with a soft, sticky sound. Not tearing, sliding, like it was never attached properly. My vision blurs. A hot wave of nausea climbs my throat. Underneath, there isn't a face. There's something pale and wet and unfinished, like muscle wrapped around a skull that doesn't belong to any animal I know. Teeth glint in the harsh light. Too many. Too uneven. Set in gums that look raw. He keeps pulling. The skin comes away in a sheet, sagging in his hand. The thing underneath turns its head toward me. And now the sound that comes from its throat makes sense. Because it's trying to speak through something that doesn't fit. I don't scream. I should. But my body does something else. It moves.
I shove past the wall, twist sideways and sprint down the corridor so hard my lungs seize. Behind me, there's a sound. Fast footsteps, a wet slap against concrete, a breathy rasp that might be my name even though I never said it. I run anyway. I don't look back. I take the first opening I see and nearly slam into another wall, pivoting so sharply my shoe skids. The corridor forks. I choose left, then right, then through a narrow gap between pipes where the air is hotter and my skin prickles. My heart is battering my ribs like it wants out. The bottle in my hand bangs against my palm, and I cling to it like it's the only sane thing left in the world. I can't tell if the footsteps are still behind me, or if they've become part of the hum. I don't slow down to find out. I keep running until my throat burns and my legs start to fold. When I finally stop, I press my back against the concrete and cover my mouth with my hand, trying to keep my breathing quiet. My eyes are wide. My fingers shake so hard they rattle against my teeth. I close them anyway, because if I open them, I'll see that face again, and I don't think I can handle seeing it twice.
I don't know how long I crouched there with my back against the wall, listening to my own blood rush in my ears, long enough that the silence starts to feel intentional again, long enough that the image of that face, that thing wearing a face, begins to creep back in around the edges of my vision. I force myself to move. Staying still feels worse now. Staying still feels like letting something catch up to me. I push off the wall and keep going, slower this time, careful not to let my shoes squeak on the concrete. The corridor widens ahead into a space that feels bigger, open, cavernous. The ceiling lifts, pipes spreading apart like ribs. A storage area, crates stacked in uneven rows, metal shelving pushed against the walls, pallets half wrapped in plastic that hangs loose and rustles faintly when the air moves. The smell hits me before I fully register what I'm seeing. It's thick, metallic, sour. Not oil, not mildew. Something animal.
I freeze just inside the threshold, breath caught halfway in my chest. There's movement between the crates. Low to the ground. Several shapes, hunched and restless, their backs rising and falling as they tear into something I can't see clearly. Wet sounds echo softly through the space. Chewing. I clamp my hand over my mouth without thinking. The shapes shift, and the light catches them just enough that my brain refuses to categorize what I'm seeing. Too many limbs, too lean. Skin stretched tight over muscle, patchy in places like it never finished growing properly. One of them lifts its head. Its eyes reflect the light instantly, bright and wrong, locking onto me with terrifying precision. The sound it makes is low and vibrating, like a growl dragged through a broken throat. The others stop feeding. All of them turn. For a heartbeat, nothing moves. Then they do. Fast. Too fast. They surge toward me in a rush of claws and snapping jaws, nails scraping concrete, bodies colliding with crates and not slowing down at all. Ah! I scream. The sound tears out of me raw and useless, and I spin and run, my feet slipping as I bolt back the way I came. Behind me, there's no mistaking it now. Footsteps. Multiple. Heavy and frantic and gaining. My lungs seize almost immediately. My legs scream in protest. I can hear my own breath breaking apart, can feel my heart hammering so hard it hurts. I don't look back. I don't need to. I know they're close because I can feel the air move behind me, hot and foul against my neck. I can hear teeth snap shut inches from where I was a second ago. I veer left, then right, nearly slam into a shelving unit and scrape my arm hard enough to make me... Pain flares, bright and sharp. I keep running. My shoe catches. I stumble. For a fraction of a second, my balance goes completely, and I know, this is where I fall. And they pile on, and that's it. A shadow leaps. A weight hits me from the side, and then the world explodes with noise. Gunfire. So loud it rattles my teeth. The sound cracks through the storage area, sharp and violent, echoing off concrete and metal. Something shrieks, high and furious, and the pressure behind me vanishes. I hit the ground hard, palms scraping, knees slamming down as I slide across the floor. More gunshots. Closer. Controlled. Rapid. I curl instinctively, arms over my head, expecting pain that doesn't come. Instead, there's shouting. Voices. Clear! 2 down!
Watch the left! I lift my head slowly, ears ringing. One of the creatures launches into the air, jaws open, and a bullet takes it mid-leap. Its body collapses in a heap a few feet from me, sliding across the concrete and stopping with a wet thud. I gag. Boots pound toward me. Figures emerge from the murk between pipes and crates. They're people, wearing mismatched gear. One has a yellow construction helmet and an old Kevlar vest. Another wears a padded jacket with duct tape reinforcing the seams. The third, a woman with a ponytail and a bandana pulled up over her nose like it's the Wild West. She grabs my arm, not rough, not gentle, just urgent, and hauls me backward. "Move!" a voice snaps, close to my ear. I stumble to my feet, half dragged, half carried, my legs barely responding. The shapes are gone now, or broken, or scattered. I don't look long enough to be sure. Then silence. The kind that settles after violence, heavy and ringing. "Area secure," someone says. The words don't register at first. My hands are shaking so badly I have to sit down before I fall down. I press my back against a crate and suck in air like I've just surfaced from deep water. "Hey," the woman says, and her accent sounds like she might have grown up 2 towns over. "You okay?" I try to answer and find that my throat is raw. I nod instead. My legs wobble. One of them reaches out instinctively and steadies me with a gloved hand on my elbow. "We heard the barking," the man in the helmet says. He has deep wrinkles around his eyes and the kind of voice that sounds perpetually hoarse. "Figured somebody was about to be dog food." "Thanks," I manage. It doesn't feel like enough. "Name's Raj," the man says. He taps his chest with his free hand. "This is Becca." Ponytail salutes with 2 fingers. "And that's Miles." He jerks his chin toward the third, a tall man standing slightly behind them. Miles looks to be in his late 20s, clean-shaven, dark hair cropped short. He wears an old backpack and holds his weapon with a casual familiarity that makes me think he's used it more than once. "Hi," Miles says quietly. His eyes take everything in. The dead hounds, the way my hands shake, the damp patches on my sleeves. He doesn't volunteer anything else. "I'm Elena," I say. Saying my name feels like anchoring myself to reality. I'm not sure which reality anymore. Becca grins, though her eyes keep scanning the shadows. "Welcome to level 1, Elena. Population, 2 damn many monsters. Not enough almond water." Almond water. The bottles I found. I instinctively pat the one tucked into my cardigan pocket to make sure it's still there. They notice, and Raj gives an approving nod. "Good," he says. "Always carry some. This place will bleed you dry otherwise." He leads us through the maze of crates and concrete columns. They move with practiced ease, marking turns with bits of torn fabric tied around pipes. Every so often, they crack a joke about mall security having bad breath, about how Becca missed a shot because she's out of practice, about Raj's cooking. I laugh once, too loudly, and then I'm laughing because I can laugh. It feels almost obscene. Between the joking, I ask questions, the ones I've been biting down since the yellow wallpaper. "What is this place?" spills out before I can stop it. They trade glances. "The Backrooms," Raj says eventually, like it's both a name and a curse. "Back of everything."
Fell out of the world and landed here? So did we. He shrugs. Call it whatever you want. Doesn't change what it is. We don't know how big it is, Becca adds. Bigger than any building, that's for sure. Different sections. Some are empty, like those yellow hallways you came through. Some are like this. Some are worse. We call them levels because... what else are you gonna call them? Makes us sound organized. She snorts. How long have you been here? I ask. Raj scratches his beard. A while. Months. Years? Time's funny here. It's always buzzing. He gestures at the ceiling, at the constant hum. Clocks stop, watches lie. We sleep when we're tired, eat when we can, try not to go crazy counting days. People come and go, Becca says. Mostly go. We find each other when we can. Safety in numbers. She bumps her shoulder lightly against mine as we walk. You're one of us now. Congratulations. Membership dues are paid in bullets and bad jokes. Miles hasn't said anything else. He walks a step behind, eyes sharp, fingers resting near the trigger guard. Once, when I stumble over a loose tile, his hand darts out to catch me before I hit the ground. He lets go as soon as I'm steady. His touch is warm through the glove. He watches me, but not in a way that makes me feel examined. More like he's quietly accounting for me. We reach what they call their camp. It's a cluster of overturned crates and salvaged tarps around a gas lantern. There are other people there, a woman with a shaved head and a tattoo of a snake winding up her neck, a teenager chewing on a plastic straw, a man with a limp whittling something from a piece of wood. They look up when they see us, offer nods, scoot over to make space. Someone hands me a dented mug filled with lukewarm almond water. The sweetness blooms across my tongue and spreads warmth through my chest. For the first time since Valentine's Day morning, I don't feel like a ghost. I feel chosen. Like I'm supposed to be here, at least with these people. Introductions blur into each other, names and snippets of stories. I used to be a plumber, helps with the pipes here. Guess my high school French wasn't a waste. Turns out there are Canadians in the Backrooms. If you see a guy who thinks he's a cat, leave him alone. He'll scratch. Laughter floats up, thin but real. Eventually, when the conversations settle and the gallows humor gives way to quiet chewing and shuffling, I lean forward, mug cradled in both hands. Is there a way out? I ask. The question scrapes my throat raw. It's the thing I've been holding onto like a lifeline since the yellow hallways. If anyone would know, it's the people who've been here longer than me. They don't answer right away. Raj's gaze drops to the floor. Becca blows out a breath and looks at her boots. The tattooed woman shakes her head slightly without looking at me. Miles meets my eyes. He doesn't flinch away from the hope there. He doesn't sugarcoat it either. No, he says simply.
The word lands heavier than any bullet. It doesn't even echo. It just sinks. Something cracks inside me quietly, like thin ice underfoot. The hum presses in. The damp air smells suddenly metallic. We've looked, Becca adds, softer. We've tried. People talk about exits, about stairs up, about doors. Most of them lead to things worse than here. We stick together. We keep moving. We survive. Raj squeezes my shoulder. Hope's a dangerous thing here, Elena. You need just enough to stay alive, not enough to make you do something stupid. I swallow. My throat tightens. My mug shakes in my hands. Outside the glow of the lantern, the concrete and pipes seem to stretch on forever. There is no way out. The words settle like damp into my bones. Becca breaks the silence first. Finish your water, she says, already on her feet. I blink at her. What?
We don't stay after a firefight, Raj adds. He's checking the edge of the room, peering past the lantern glow like he expects the dark to blink back. Rules older than us. But you said this was your camp, I say. The word feels fragile now. Camp. Home-shaped. It was, Becca says, before we lit the place up like a signal flare. Miles finally speaks. His voice is low, calm, like he's reciting weather. Hounds don't die quiet, he says, and they don't travel alone. My stomach tightens. You mean, he cuts in gently. Something heard that. Probably more than one thing. Raj nods. Noise carries different here. So does absence. He gestures vaguely toward the storage area behind us. Dead space gets noticed. The lantern flickers just once. No one comments on it. That somehow makes it worse. So we move? I ask. We always move, Becca says. She offers me a hand up. This time it's steady, certain. Staying still is how people convince themselves they're safe. Miles meets my eyes again. Nothing in this place likes things that settle, he says. It starts asking questions. What kind of questions? I ask. His mouth twitches, not quite a smile. Where did the noise come from? He says. And why is it gone? The hum seems louder now. Closer. Raj slings his pack over his shoulder. You can grieve the idea of a home later, he says kindly. Right now, we walk. The lantern is extinguished, the tarps folded back into crates. People stand, stretch stiff joints, check weapons, count quietly under their breath. It's done without ceremony, like muscle memory taking over where thought would only get in the way.
When we move, it isn't rushed. That's what surprises me. After everything, the gunfire, the bodies, the answer I didn't want, I expect urgency, panic, some sign that we're running from something. Instead, the group settles into motion like this is just the next step in a familiar routine. The group adjusts without comment. Spacing changes, voices stop. No one jokes now. I notice dimly that I'm not watching the walls the way I used to. My attention keeps sliding back to the people in front of me, to the way they slow, the way they angle their bodies when they approach an intersection. I mirror it. When they pause, I pause. When they move, I move. It feels efficient, like slipping into a system that already knows how to carry weight. This must be what surviving together looks like, I think. Not safe, just structured. The corridors widen as we go. The ceiling lifts, the pipes thin out, replaced by open steel beams and hanging lights that sway slightly, even though there's no wind. It feels like a warehouse, or the inside of one. Too big to be comfortable, too empty to feel safe. Crates are stacked in loose clusters, some broken open, some half collapsed. Pallets lean at odd angles. Shadows stretch long and distorted between the lights, pooling in corners where I can't quite see what's there. The group spreads out automatically. 2 in front, 2 behind, 1 off to the side, watching an intersecting corridor. I stay in the middle. I don't even remember deciding to. I just end up there. My steps feel lighter now, steadier. The almond water hums faintly in my veins, keeping the edge of panic dulled just enough that I can function. I keep my eyes on Miles's back, the set of his shoulders, the way he scans the space without looking frantic. It helps. Then everything stops. The people in front of us just freeze, all at once. I almost bump into Becca's back. She has her rifle raised, but she isn't aiming. She isn't moving at all. Hey, I whisper. What? Raj lifts a hand, slow, deliberate. His eyes are wide, locked on something ahead. I follow his gaze. At first, I don't understand what I'm seeing. There's a small figure standing in the open space between two stacks of crates. A child. A little girl, maybe 6 or 7. She's wearing a black dress that looks too clean for this place. Her hair hangs down in front of her face, long and dark, obscuring it completely. She's barefoot. For half a heartbeat, my chest tightens with something like relief. Something like recognition. Oh, I breathe. Oh my God. She lifts her head. There is no face. Not blurred, not hidden. Gone. Just a smooth, blank surface where eyes and mouth should be. Ah! My scream tears out of me before I can stop it. In her hand, small fingers wrapped tight, is a blade. Rusted, serrated, too big for her grip. She tilts her head. The soldiers don't move. None of them do. And then I see why. Movement at the edges of the light. Another child steps out from behind a crate. Then another. Then 2 more. They come from everywhere, slipping out of shadows, dropping down from pallets, emerging from narrow gaps I didn't even register as openings. All of them small, all of them faceless, all of them holding something sharp. Knives, hammers, meat hooks, scissors, broken glass that glints wetly under the lights. The air feels suddenly too thin. Someone whispers, "Don't." It doesn't matter. The children rush forward. There's no warning shout, no time to react. They move fast. Too fast. The first scream is Raj's.
One of the children leaps onto him, blade flashing. Another slashes at his leg. He goes down hard, shouting, trying to swing his rifle up. But there are too many of them. They swarm. Becca fires. The gunshot cracks the air, deafening in the enclosed space. One of the children drops, collapsing bonelessly. The rest don't slow. They climb. They stab. They laugh. It's a sound I will never forget. High and breathy and wrong, like giggles dragged through broken throats. Miles shouts something I don't hear. He's firing now, backing up, dragging me with him by the sleeve. One of the others goes down, screaming as a blade sinks into his side. Another is pulled backward, disappearing under a mass of small bodies. Blood sprays across the concrete. I slip. I fall. Someone's boot slams down beside my head. Someone yells my name. "Run!" I scramble up, heart pounding so hard it feels like it's tearing me apart from the inside. The warehouse is chaos. Gunfire, screaming, metal clanging, children darting between legs, striking and vanishing again. I see Becca go down. I see Raj stop moving. I don't see Miles. I don't look long enough. I run. I run blindly, tears streaming down my face, lungs burning, my feet barely touching the ground. Behind me, the laughter follows. Sharp, delighted, hungry. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. I just know I can't stop. The glow of the lantern disappears behind me. The last human voices cut off abruptly, one by one, like switches flipped in a room. And then, only the hum, and my own ragged breathing, and the knowledge settling in with terrible clarity. The safety wasn't real. The structure wasn't real.
The people who made me feel chosen, they're gone. And whatever this place is, it doesn't care.
We sit there for a long moment, backs against cold concrete, two survivors pressed into a space that barely fits us. Somewhere in the distance, something moves, scrapes, stops. I tighten my grip on my knees. I don't want to die, I say. I know, he replies. I don't want to disappear, I add. I don't want to just be gone because I trusted the wrong thing. Miles shifts slightly, closer but not touching. Close enough that I can feel the warmth of him through the air. Then we don't trust things, he says. We trust actions, patterns, each other when it's earned. I swallow. The idea terrifies me. It also feels real. For the first time since Valentine's Day morning, since the mall music and the mannequins and the elevator doors closing, I don't feel chosen because someone told me I was safe. I feel chosen because someone stayed. I wipe my face again and straighten, forcing my spine to lock into place. Okay, I say, voice still shaking but steadier than before. Okay, what do we do now? Miles checks his weapon, adjusts his pack. Then he meets my eyes. Now, he says, we move like nothing is safe. And we do. We don't say it out loud. There is no moment where we agree on rules or make a plan or pretend we're in charge of anything. We just change. The first thing that goes is noise. My breathing slows, not because I feel calm, but because I force it to. In through my nose, out through my mouth. Controlled. Measured. I stop reacting to every sound like it's a threat and start listening to how the sounds behave. The hum is still there, constant, uninterested. Our footsteps soften. I learn quickly how to place my weight so my shoes don't squeak or scuff. Miles doesn't tell me how. I watch him do it and copy the way he rolls his heel down last, like he's testing the floor before committing to it. We don't rush anymore. Running got people killed. When we reach an intersection, we stop. Not frozen, not panicked, just still. Miles crouches slightly, scanning left, then right, then up. I watch the ceiling, the pipes, the shadows where light doesn't quite reach. We don't assume empty means safe. We don't assume anything. There's no authority now. No one giving orders. No one pretending they know what comes next. When Miles gestures, it's a question, not a command. When I shake my head, he listens. We move when both of us are ready. Together, but not tangled. We keep space between us. Enough that one of us won't take the other down if something lunges out of the dark. Enough that if one of us falls, the other might still have a chance. It's colder now, or maybe I'm just more aware of my body. My hands shake less. My thoughts feel sharper, stripped down to essentials. Observe, wait, move. I stop thinking about how long we've been here. Time stopped being useful somewhere back in the yellow halls. My phone hasn't lit up in what feels like forever. The screen still works, technically,
but the clock hasn't changed. Same minute. Same frozen promise of normalcy. I slip it back into my pocket and forget about it.
We pass through spaces that feel half-finished. Corridors that narrow just enough to make me tense. Doors that look like exits, but don't open. Rooms that echo too much, like they're listening. Nothing reaches for us. Nothing follows. And somehow, that's worse. I realize, as we move, that I'm not looking to Miles for reassurance anymore. I'm watching the environment. The way the light flickers. The way the hum deepens slightly near certain intersections. The way some hallways feel resistant, like they don't want us there. He notices too. When I stop, he stops. When he hesitates, I don't push past him. We're not clinging to each other. We're aligned. And in this place, where trusting the wrong thing gets you killed, that feels like the closest thing to progress I've made since the elevator doors closed. We disappear down another corridor, quiet as the hum itself. We don't recognize it at first. It's just another stretch of wall, concrete, gray, unremarkable, pipes overhead, the hum steady and indifferent. We would have passed it like all the others if Miles hadn't slowed half a step, if my skin hadn't prickled in that way I'm learning to trust. I stop. He stops. We look at the wall together. It's darker than the rest. Not shadowed. Wrong. Like the light doesn't want to touch it. The seam where it meets the floor isn't straight. It dips slightly, a shallow wave in the concrete, as if the surface softened once and then hardened again without finishing the job. I crouch, careful, and run my fingers just above it without touching. The air feels thin. Not cold, not warm. Uncertain. Miles shifts beside me. He doesn't speak. He just watches my hand, the wall, the way the hum changes pitch here, almost imperceptibly, but enough that my teeth ache. I glance at him. "Do you feel that?" I whisper. He nods. We've learned not to test things separately. I press my palm flat against the surface. For a heartbeat, nothing happens. Then my hand sinks in. Not like pushing through mud, not like breaking glass, like pressing into something that forgot it was supposed to be solid. My breath catches sharply. I don't pull away. Miles's hand closes around my wrist, not yanking, not panicked. Anchoring. "Together," he says quietly. I nod. We adjust our stance, feet planted, bodies angled forward, not leaning, not resisting, just allowing. I take a breath. He does too. And then we step. The sensation is brief and violent and impossible to describe. Pressure everywhere at once. A flash of vertigo so sharp it steals the world for a split second. The hum spikes, then cuts out entirely. And we stumble forward onto a different floor. I hit my hands and knees hard, the impact knocking the air from my lungs. Miles lands beside me, rolling once before coming up on one knee, weapon raised automatically. Nothing moves. No pipes, no concrete. The space around us is vast and dim, lit by a low, diffuse glow that seems to come from nowhere in particular. The walls, if they are walls, are smooth and pale, stretching away at angles that don't quite make sense. The floor is cool beneath my palms, solid but unfamiliar, like polished stone or sealed tile. There is no hum. The silence is so complete, it rings. We stay frozen for a long moment, waiting for something to announce itself. Nothing does. Miles lowers his weapon slowly. I sit back on my heels, chest heaving, and then, because my legs give out,
I just sit, right there on the floor, back against nothing I can define. My hands are shaking again, but this time it's from exhaustion, not panic. Miles sits too, a few feet away, close enough to share space, far enough that we're not touching. I pull out the bottle of almond water, the last one. I hesitate, then hold it out. He doesn't refuse. He takes a measured sip, hands it back. I drink next. The sweetness is faint now, but it's enough. We sit there in the unfamiliar quiet, breathing in sync without trying to. Matching pace, no rush, no need to fill the silence with words that won't help. This isn't safety. It isn't escape. It isn't an ending. But it's not death. Not yet. Two survivors, in a place that hasn't decided what it is. Chosen presence. Shared endurance. The silence stretches, and we let it. The end. For now.